Are you sure that your healthy breakfast is really healthy? Most people don't even realize that some of the foods they eat every morning can work almost like dessert. They cause sudden spikes in blood sugar, increase hunger, impair concentration, and gradually form unhealthy eating habits. The most interesting thing is that such products are usually marketed as healthy food. They say on the packages, fitness, natural, fat-free, energy source, rich in vitamins. But there is often a huge difference between marketing and the real benefits for the body. Today we will analyze the most popular, healthy breakfasts, which many consider to be correct, although in fact, they can harm the body much more than it seems. And be sure to watch it to the end, because even people who are trying to lose weight and monitor their health eat the latest product. Let's start with one of the most popular breakfasts in the world, cereal. Many people believe that cereal is an easy and proper way to start the day, especially if the box says fitness, whole grain, or vitamin source. But if you look closely at the composition, you can see a huge amount of sugar. Sometimes there is almost as much sugar in a regular bowl of flakes as in a chocolate bar. The problem is that such products are absorbed very quickly. First, the body receives a sharp burst of energy. A person feels refreshed, energized, and even in a good mood. But after a short time, the sugar level begins to drop rapidly. That's why you're hungry again a couple of hours after breakfast. There is drowsiness, fatigue, cravings for sweets and coffee. The body is literally asking for a new portion of fast carbohydrates. Cereal is especially dangerous for children, because bright packages create the illusion of a healthy product, although in fact, many of them contain a huge amount of sugar and additives. The next product is fruit yogurt. At first glance, it seems like an almost perfect meal. Yogurt is associated with health benefits, calcium, and proper nutrition. The packaging usually shows strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, or other fruits. But the problem is that most sweet yogurts have a lot more sugar than people think. Sometimes one small jar contains several tablespoons of added sugar. In addition, many fruit yogurts almost do not saturate the body. They are quickly digested, and the feeling of hunger returns very quickly. A person thinks that he had breakfast easily and healthily, but after an hour he wants to have a snack again. Low-fat yogurts are especially insidious. When manufacturers remove the fat, the taste of the product becomes less vivid. And to compensate for this, even more sugar or flavorings are often added. It turns out to be a paradox. The product looks dietary, but in fact, it may be less useful than regular natural yogurt. Now, let's talk about fresh juice. Many people consider a glass of orange juice to be a symbol of a healthy morning. In movies, advertisements, and social media, juice is constantly shown as part of an ideal lifestyle. But this habit has a serious disadvantage. When a fruit turns into juice, the fiber practically disappears from it. Fiber helps the body digest sugar more slowly and maintain a feeling of fullness for longer. As a result, a person drinks a concentrated amount of fruit sugar, which very quickly enters the bloodstream. For example, to make one glass of orange juice, you may need several oranges, but eating so much fruit whole is much more difficult than drinking juice in 1 minute. Because of this, the body gets too much sugar in a very short time. Even natural juice without added sugar is not always a good option for breakfast, especially if you drink it separately. But this is still not the most overrated, useful product. Next up is granola. Granola looks very healthy. Oatmeal, nuts, honey, dried fruits. It sounds perfect. And indeed, high-quality homemade granola can be a normal option. But the problem is that store-bought granola often contains a huge amount of syrups, oils, and sugar. Sometimes a small portion of granola turns out to be more calorific than a full meal. It is especially dangerous that people usually underestimate the serving size. It seems like a light snack, although it can be very dense in calories. Plus, granola is often eaten with sweet yogurt or milk, which further increases the amount of sugar. Now, let's talk about avocado toast. Yes, avocados are really healthy. It contains good fats, vitamins, and trace elements. But the problem arises when such a breakfast becomes unbalanced. Many people make breakfast only from bread and avocado. Beautiful, fashionable, like on social media. But there is often too little protein in such a meal, and protein is one of the main components of normal satiety. If the body does not have enough protein in the morning, the feeling of hunger returns much faster. Because of this, people snack more often, overeat in the evening, and are more attracted to sweets. That is, even an Instagrammed healthy breakfast does not always help the body feel good. And finally, a product that many consider almost a symbol of healthy eating: instant oatmeal. At first glance, it seems that oatmeal is an ideal option, but there's a huge difference between regular oatmeal and instant sweet bags. Such flakes are heavily processed. Because of this, they are digested much faster and raise blood sugar levels faster. And if there are syrups, sugar, flavorings, or sweet additives inside, then the effect becomes even stronger. After such a breakfast, a person may feel a sharp surge of energy, but very quickly face hunger and fatigue again, especially if sweet coffee, juice, or pastries are added to the oatmeal. So, what is really worth eating in the morning? The main rule of a good breakfast is balance. The body needs protein, fiber, and normal whole foods. Good options might be eggs, cottage cheese, natural Greek yogurt without sugar, long-boiled oatmeal, nuts, berries, vegetables, whole fruits, or high-quality protein sources. You don't have to make the perfect fitness breakfast. The main thing is to avoid a lot of ultra-processed foods and hidden sugar. Because many problems with energy, constant hunger, and overeating begin with the wrong morning. When breakfast causes sugar spikes, the body gets tired faster and requires faster carbohydrates throughout the day. But a balanced breakfast helps to keep satiety, stable energy, and normal concentration longer.